See, the thing about fear is sometimes there's fear and it's real and it's legit, and sometimes our fear that we have, it's faulty. See, when it comes to having these fears in life, that sometimes we come across these fears and we come across them because there are things that they might hurt us, or worse, that they could even be deadly. And those are things that cause us to begin to have these fearful thoughts. For instance, these little arachnid creatures that we have right here, these are some scorpions. And those scorpions, when we see scorpions and we're seeing them in our house, that we get a little concerned with what they are and what that little stinger tail can do. Another thing that we might have a fear of is that this is a tarantula. It's kind of small for a tarantula. It's a little baby tarantula. But we might think of tarantulas as these bigger, hairy spiders that can be very scary. In fact, when it comes to these spiders, that sometimes we think that we have to be afraid of spiders because that they can kill us. They're deadly. Well, many times that they hurt, yes, but a tarantula's sting is often less of a pain than what a bee sting is. See, there's over 43,000 species of spiders. But there's only about 30 of them that are deadly to humanity. But maybe when it comes to critters, the one that we might fear the most universally is one that slithers along the ground. That it's a snake. And this is a constrictor. But yet when we look at things about snakes, is there are over 5 million snake bites a year. And about half of those are from venomous snakes. In fact, when we look just across the globe, what we see that there are between 80,000 and 140,000 snake bites a year. And when we look at those, I'm not a year of snake bites, but there's deaths between 80,000 and 140,000 deaths a year because of a snake bite. And then when we look at the amputations that have to happen, or what happens, and it just changes somebody's quality of life, that it's even more. And so these tend to bring some fear that we go, okay, well, we can rationalize, and that might be a good fear to have. But then we have these faulty fears. And these faulty fears, when I think about some faulty fears, I think about these little critters right here. That I think about when people see these little mice, and you see one and it's kind of running around, and you go, I don't like that. We get a little scared. And it's interesting because we know, and I don't mean to bash any gender here, but we know that women tend to be more afraid of these than men. But I want you to know you come by it honestly. Because when it comes to mice and their senses, there's something that they sense with a man that scares them more than the scent of a woman. And so that's why they want to come and approach women more than what they want to approach men. And then there's these cockroaches. And cockroaches, it's interesting when we think about cockroaches. There are things about these guys that we just do. We have this faulty fear, like, oh no, it's a cockroach. What's it going to do to you? But these guys, they are tenacious. They just keep on keeping on. You know, a cockroach can live for 40 days without a head. 40 days. That it only takes them 36 days to become a full-size adult. That they grow quickly. That they can go a full week without water. They can go a month without food. And perhaps the most interesting thing, when I was just kind of looking up and research these guys a little bit, they're attracted to alcohol. And so if you feel like, you're having to pay your pest guy to keep coming back over and over and over again, maybe you got a little too much something that they keep wanting to come to your house for. And then here's this last one that there's a faulty fear, and it's crickets. And you might be going, cricket? No, well, you're right. I probably have a faulty fear, but I don't have a faulty fear of cricket. Well, as soon as one of these jumps on you and you didn't see it coming, oh, you start freaking. Right? You know what I'm talking about? Or some people, what is it about boys and crickets that they love to prank people by just throwing them on them? All right? And that's when we begin to see this fear take over, and it can be a faulty fear.